Greetings and welcome, fellow internet humans. Jack Russell here to talk a little bit about Dunkirk and why you should go see it like yesterday. I'm recording remotely today, so please enjoy the different non-studio setup than normal. I'm not sure I need to spoiler tag an account of a historical event from over 75 years ago, but if you want to remain completely surprised, consider this your spoiler warning. This movie was pure artisan masterclass. It was a Black Hawk Down / Saving Private Ryan war movie meets Back to the Future and Pulp Fiction style storytelling in the sense that it plays with chronology by way of multiple interweaving plot lines that converge at the end. Its central themes of human resolve, fortitude, and constitution somehow work out at the end, and possibly evoking inspirational and hopeful fuzzies at the close. It is, however, a long walk to get to the good feelings, though, because if I can be reductive for just a moment and describe the film in one word, it's stressful. Not like 30 extra minutes in a traffic jam on your evening commute or trying to sleep train a baby, but from the first gunshot that rings out a minute in, every moment throughout is overflowing with persistent, unabating tension. I'd like to credit a lot of it to consummate sound design embellished by Hans Zimmer's expert score. It's happened in Nolan films before. The ticking and talking is relentless, and the ominous humming and ringing doesn't stop save two scenes towards the very end. The sound is mixed exceptionally loud, a deliberate decision, I'm sure, to convey the deafening sounds of war. And a minor complaint I have is that it even makes the dialogue hard to understand sometimes. I probably missed about 15% of the dialogue, and I'll be looking forward to a subtitled version upon the home release. But that's not a huge sore spot for me, since dialogue is considerably sparse through the entirety of the film, placing a tacit emphasis on the visual narration. For most movies, I could not care less about the frilly 3 dimensions or extraneous gimmicks. However, I caught an advanced screening in 70mm and cannot recommend enough to see this movie in the absolute largest format you possibly can. I know IMAX 70mm would be ideal, but since only 31 locations are showing it that way, try to at least catch a 70mm film showing. I noticed after seeing a trailer on TV after my viewing that this is a film that enormously benefits from being viewed on film. The trailer was digital, making it clean, crisp, and vibrant, and that's not really ideal when trying to project the unromanticized grittiness of war. The quality of seeing it on film gives it a certain authenticity and weight that places it squarely at home in 1940, kind of like an untouched found time capsule. Large sweeping shots of the grandiose set pieces shouldn't be diluted in a theater spectacle. You can save that for when you're watching it again in your living room. So technical feats aside, some of the creative directions were also distinctly unique. It's important to note what was shown on screen, but certain omissions also empower the storytelling. This is the first World War II movie, to my knowledge, where not an iota of a swastika, the word Nazi, or even an enemy soldier is shown or uttered. The film simply refers to them as the enemy and instead focuses on the strife of the retreating soldiers. I'm waffling on discerning the purpose of this decision and whether it was to create kind of like a faceless boogeyman that books and good horror movies tend to accomplish. Leave it off panel and let the viewer's imagination do the legwork and imply the fear. It could also just be that Nolan didn't want to waste any mental or emotional real estate on the other half that might have detracted from the can't blink nature of his expert anxiety building. So I'll wrap this up with one final thought. I've heard some initial critiques about people saying the characters weren't fleshed out enough to really be vested in. I'd concede that they are thinly developed, but what else can you expect from a 106-minute film? I actually appreciated the brevity and would argue the opposite. In the military, soldiers have to be expendable by nature. Single-serving microgears and mini-cogs serving a larger purpose and meaningful mission. The brilliance of this story lies in the fact that it takes vignettes of 3 points of views, but it could easily have shown the perspective of literally any other fishing boat, any other soldier, and they are all still modular, interchangeable vertical slices that would not detract from the central theme, the truly unbreakable will and tenacity of humankind against overwhelming odds and circumstances. It's a hard diagonal from other war movies that glorify heroic acts of individual soldiers like Hacksaw Ridge, but Dunkirk instead celebrates the merits of the de-emphasized individual to laud collectivism and injects hope into putting aside our differences to move forward, something we could all especially use in 2017.